Hi, Sean. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. So today is an interactive class, but if you don't feel comfortable doing anything, feel free to sit back and watch.
Okay.
Have you trained jujitsu before?
So I'm here with my partner. I got my blue belt in 2014, but I kind of haven't trained much since then.
Cool. Well, this is really cool that you have a partner. I actually don't. I have a training partner. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'll be doing a lot of work with my training dummy over here. And then we'll have the rest of the crew join us in just a few minutes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Today we're going to be going over mount escapes.
Oh, actually, just to let you know, I've never done anything.
Anything. Okay, well, today is going to be a really great introduction for you. I asked Molly about, well, actually, we all of our instructors, we typically check in with each other at the end of the month and decide to put together a curriculum. And so this month, we're going to be doing a lot more self-defense stuff, which is a lot more beginner oriented. And we're going to start with the mount escape. And it's going to be, what I'm going to be working on is things you learn in day one jujitsu. So
okay,
don't worry, you're gonna pick it up.
Okay, great, thanks.
So I usually give it to about 6:05 because people don't like come in right at 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. See who joins us today. And I am actually in a gym, as you guys can see as well. And the kids boxing class just finished up. We do have an actual Olympic weightlifting team, so every now and then you might hear somebody screaming, trying to get that weight up. So yeah, but you guys can just feel like you're actually in a gym with the whole gym atmosphere in the background.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So just waiting to see if Jennifer and Sarah will join us today. Amy is back in her gym because she's fully vaccinated. So she's back training. So waiting on two more regulars, and then we'll get started.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, my name is Four Elements Fitness. No, I'm just playing. I should probably change it to. I should probably change my name here to Vaughn. I don't remember. It's something you guys can remember my name.
And this is Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. Okay, waiting for one more person, and then we'll get it going. Oh wow, this kid's getting it. That's dope. Hey, what's up? All right, so we have everyone here today. Okay, let me see what's going on. Okay, sounds good, Sarah. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate you showing up still. Today we're going to be going over Mountascape. So I feel that it's really important that we stay focused on making sure that jujitsu is still working for us self-defense wise. So we decided that this month we're going to go over the Mountascape. It's kind of a scary position to find yourself in, especially if you've never been mounted and had somebody have bad intentions on top of you. So one of the things we're going to work on is we're going to work on it technically, from the technical standpoint. We're going to go over some different scenarios and what you should do strategically if you're in a mount. There's different options to escape it. And then we're going to kind of see if we're at a level where we can kind of up ante and add a little bit of intensity to it. I know we only have one group with us today who is, well, we have live training partners where we can see it, but we have new people here too. So we're gonna try to make sure that everybody feels like they can do the work and catch up. So one thing I wanna start everybody off with is just movement. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna get into the talk camera. I'm gonna show what a fight stance is, and I'm just gonna have you guys move around in a fight stance, okay? So for those of you guys who don't have a training partner, try to make sure that you have a resistance band near, and then we're gonna do some work with that too. Okay, so standing in the talk camera so you guys can now see me. So our fight stance is here. We want to have a staggered stance because we want to be able to have a base if somebody's pushing us back. So I can drop my back leg. If somebody is pulling us, I can bring my front leg forward. And then if somebody's pushing us left and right, I can stop and stop, right? So this is our fight stance. We're gonna have our hips, our shoulders and our hips facing our opponent. We don't want to be bladed off because now we're not looking at anybody. We're going to be here in our fight stance, shoulders and hips and feet facing our opponent. We're actually going to bring our core in and squeeze our butt behind us. So if I'm standing here, I'm not going to be, big bootying it. I'm going to tuck my butt in, pull my core in, and let my shoulders just rest into my lats, right? So this is our fight stance. And then I'm just gonna have you guys move around, right? So just move around, shift your weight to your front leg, shift it to your back leg, and just move it around. And you can have your hands here in the ready position, right? So one hand is close, which is usually my power hand. I like to keep that close to my temple. And the other hand is kind of out here. It's ready to have some sort of structure so that it's ready to have a structure in case somebody comes in. All right. For those of you who are familiar, you can throw hands. For anybody who's not feeling comfortable, we're just gonna be in our fight stance, shoulders facing our opponent or the camera if you don't have anybody in front of you, hips facing the camera, right? I'm tucking my core in, pulling my butt in, letting my shoulders rest into my lap. One hand, usually it's my power hand or my back leg hand, resting on my temple. The other hand's in front, ready to block. And you guys are just gonna shift your weight forward and backwards and just walk. Walk in a circle and just walk in your general area that you have so that you start to warm up your feet. You kind of warm up your body to what we're about to do. And you're just gonna shift your motion forward and backwards. Just move. I'm gonna look in the camera and make sure you guys moving. I'm gonna also mute myself unless I need to talk. All right, now you guys, if you can keep moving, now I want you guys to circle, right? So we're here in our fight stance. This is just kind of a neutral position. Now we're gonna get active and we're just gonna circle. So we're gonna shuffle either left or right, right? So I'm shuffling, right? And I'm shuffling back and forth and I wanna shuffle in a circle, right? Anytime you're fighting, you're either gonna wanna, or you're evading an attack, you're either going to want to come forward or you want to circle. You want to try to avoid just allowing yourself to go backwards. Okay, so circle. Imagine somebody's coming at you and you're circling out and you're always generally trying to stay in that fight stance as you're moving.
I can't hear your mic, Vaughn.
Thank you for letting me know. I was like going on and on talking. Okay, so for this next drill, we're going to use our voice. So for those of you who have a training partner, one person, you can pretend like they're the attacker, the other person is going to evade the attack. And the person who's evading the attack is going to use their voice. And I want you to also use your hands in an assertive manner. So you're going to be here, hey, stop. Don't come any closer, or where else do you want to say to assert your position. And also use your feet movement at the same time, right? So you can stop and stop, but also it might be good for you to continue to move, especially if the person is coming at you, right? So you want to assert your position. Hey, stop, don't come any closer. And then start to move. Shuffle left to right, whatever you need to do to make sure that they don't come into your bubble. So one thing that I do talk about, I want to talk to the tall camera, so you guys might need to pin the tall camera. One thing that I do talk about, which for those of you who are new, haven't heard me have this conversation with you yet, but I try to always put into a daily practice of mine to figure out what my self-contract is. And my self-contract is, if somebody comes at me with malicious intent, what am I willing to do to keep myself protected or to keep one of my friends, family, or loved ones protected? What does that distance look like? And then what does that action look like, right? So I have to be aware of what that distance is. If you're not aware of what that distance is, you're going to either act too late, or maybe you acted too soon and the person was just like digging in their pocket for like their keys or something, right? So you want to make sure you are aware of that distance that you need to manage to keep yourself and to keep your loved ones safe. So you guys can see this line behind me. If I'm standing here and I know if somebody crosses this line, and I've already used my voice to like tell them what my boundary is here. Hey, stop, don't come any closer. And the person stops here, but then they decide to, after I've established what my boundaries is, they decided to continue to come forward, then I am going to assume they're coming at me with malicious intent. So this is not something that you're going to ever learn in class. This is a daily mental practice that you'll have to do, whether it's journaling or additional education that you'll have to do to get this reinforced in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit, when and where you need to act, okay? So you're going to use your voice, and then you're going to move, okay? Use your voice and move. Somebody's coming at you, use your voice and continue to move. Does anybody have any questions there? Nope, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna, again, there's class going on in the background. So I'm gonna put myself on mute, and then if I need to say something, I'll make sure I take myself off mute. All right, good, everyone look in. Okay, so first we're gonna go over the basic movement that you're gonna do if somebody mounts you, which is the bridge. This is great for any exercise you wanna do, just as a muscle building exercise, a strength building exercise, a mobility exercise. It really works for all three. So we're gonna do a few just regular bridges. So when we bridge, right, lying on my mat, I'm gonna be lying on my back, feet close to my butt, right? I really wanted my feet to get as close to my butt comfortably as they can, right? This is about as much as I can bend my knee to my heel. So that's as close as my feet get. Somebody with more mobility in their knees might be able to get their feet closer, and that's completely fine. From here, we're just gonna do regular bridges, okay? So we're gonna activate from our heel, right? Squeezing our butt up, and then articulating all the way through our spine. All right, so when I bridge, I do in order, so this is a strength hip building exercise, right? When I'm doing this bridge to strengthen my glutes, to strengthen my hammies, it's very important that you squeeze into your core so you protect your low back, right? So I'm gonna articulate my hips forward, compress my core, drive through my heels, and bridge up, just like that. All right, so everybody, let's do 20 bridges. All right, putting myself. So 1, try to get up as high as you can, keeping a neutral spine, not overly arched. 2, good. 3, nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, great job. You guys can, usually when I'm doing this, after I've done a bunch of bridges, I like to come back to seated and either like bend forward in my butterfly position, or I'll come into like pigeon, half pigeon, or full pigeon, just to stretch out my hips, because you will feel your booty for sure, right? You want to stretch those things out, right? So as I'm talking, you guys can come back to these positions and stretch your hips. Another good position too is the frog, right? And you can stretch out your hips that way too as I'm talking. Okay, the next one is mobility bridge exercise. And this movement, usually a lot of the mobility movements that you do are going to be similar movement patterns that you'll do in your actual sport. So this one is bridging up and over. So this is a mobility exercise because you're really trying to articulate all the way through your hips and your spine. And sometimes it feels good on your neck and shoulders too. So same thing, you have to keep your core tight here. When you do this bridge, we're bridging up and over. So we want to drive from one of our legs. So this leg, I'm just lifting up this leg so you can see. This leg here that's on the floor is going to drive to the shoulder that's closest to you guys. Far leg, driving to close shoulder. All right. And I'm going to reach with my far arm up and over, and I'm looking as far over as I can. So you guys can see how this could be a mobility, because I'm really opening up my flank. I'm really articulating it as far through my spine as I can and ending up on my shoulder. And I want to pull this bottom arm back, all right? So I'm gonna go one side and then the other side. One side and then the other side. Okay, so you guys are gonna do 10 left and right. 2, there you go. 3, 4, 5. Great job, Jennifer. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Great job, you guys. Rest. All right, stretch it out. Okay, so we did a strength exercise. We did a mobility exercise. And that mobility one, you're going to use a whole lot in jiu-jitsu. And then we're going to do an explosive one. Okay, so the explosive one is another movement that you're going to do a lot in jiu-jitsu. It's really important that you build explosivity, especially through your hips. All right, I have like sore knees, so I might not be able to do it as good as I want to, but with this one, you're actually going to rock let's just start rocking first. We're not even gonna do the hip exercise. We're gonna do the core part of it. So we're gonna just rock and stay tight and just rock in a circle, just like this, okay? You wanna keep your back like curved, so you're rocking like a rocking horse. And do 360. And you don't need to come all the way up, right? So it's not like a whole crunch. It's just a rocking motion. It's very slight. Keep everything curved, your chin tucked, your shoulders rolled in, right? So Monique, you don't have to come all the way up. You don't have to come all the way up like a crunch. You're just gonna, yeah, rock just like that and just rock and turn yourself in a circle. Yep. Good job, you guys. All right. Great. And then try to turn yourself the opposite direction. If you've been going one direction the whole time, right? Good, and time. Okay, so that's the motion that we're gonna get our explosive bridge started. So I'm gonna have you guys do 10 explosive bridges, right? So when I say rock up, that's what you need to do. You need to get your hips above the ground and rock up and kind of get your body going onto your lower back, right? So we're gonna rock up first, and then we're gonna pop our hips, right? So you rock up, pop your hips, right? So you should really get a nice hard pop when you pop those. Yeah, you're gonna do 10. Yeah. Yep, more, yeah. Yeah. Stomp hard and pop, 2. And time. Okay. Looking at how everybody's moving, we're gonna start with the hip hop. The hip hop one first. Okay. So, Monique, do you have a training dummy? Oh, cool. You do. I see him sitting in the background. Lovely. Awesome. Okay. So the hip hop exercise. This might be a little. Hopefully, this reacts right with the dummy. It's a little bit challenging. So we're gonna be in the mounted position. Okay, right? Now with this hip hop exercise, you wanna get the person coming forward. So that's why we rock, right? If we try to just pop them and their weight, just like how this dummy is just dead weight lying on me, it's gonna be very hard to pop and get them off of me, right? So I'm actually gonna rock up and get them going forward. Once I do that, my earpiece is coming out. Okay, once I do that, it's gonna be a lot easier for me to pop them and then get them off of me. So it's gonna look like this, right? I'm gonna have my hands on their hips, rock them forward, pop, and then I'm able to come forward, right? So that pop, right, helps me get my hands up, right? I'm not bench pressing them off of me. I'm using momentum with my hips going forward and then popping to send them up. If I were to use these little heavy bags that I have here and put it on my waist, you guys will be able to see how that works, right? So I have this heavy bag. I'm gonna have my hands here on the hips, kind of mimicking how I would have the hips. Then I'm gonna rock it forward and pop. Then I'm gonna be able to get my knees in and send a person forward. Okay, right now you guys are just gonna be doing that and mocking the movement with your dummies. I know for those of us with dummies and not an actual person, the whole feeling might not transfer over as much, but We'll just keep on doing it, right? For those of you who have actual training partners, you're really gonna feel it, right? Exactly. So you want them getting rocking forward first, and you can knee them in the butt. There you go. Knee them in the butt, rock, and pop. Yeah, so you really have to pop high. Pop and hip bump at the same time. Keep doing it. So your hips come up. Remember, it's your heels that drive your butt up. So once your heels hit the ground, that's going to give you force to drive your hips and your butt up. Yeah, much better. Right? So it's got to be forceful. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Just like that. Now you can use your hands to keep them high. Once you feel like their hips kind of disconnect a little bit, you can use your hands to straighten them out and keep them high. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now all you have to do is keep them high enough to get one knee, just one knee. It doesn't even have to be both knees. Just one knee to your chest. So then they land on your shin. Yeah. Get that knee through. Yep. Pull your knee all the way to your chest. There you go. Now you can bring your other leg through. Yep. You can just kick them off you with that the leg that they're sitting on, and bring your other leg through. Yep. There you go. Yeah, that's the position they want to end in. Yep. And then bring the other knee to your chest. There you go. Nice. So it's got to be a powerful pop. Got to get them high. Pop with your hips hard. Yeah. Off to the side works too. You don't have to get them straight forward. Whew, exercise, huh? Switch top to bottom. Doing good. First time, doing a good job. One way I like to think about this exercise is when you're bringing your knee to your chest, imagine you're trying to put pants on, right? So I have to bring my knees all the way to my chest, put my pants on, and extend. So I'm putting those pants on, and extending out. When I extend out, that gives me enough space to bring my other knee to my chest, and then I can sit up. I haven't gone over the butterfly part of it yet. Just worry about getting them to sit on your shin for now. That's it. Yep. Switch top to bottom, Sean. There you go. Yep. Keep bringing your knee to your chest. All the way to your chest. There you go. Good job. All right. Switch top to bottom, Sean. Top to bottom.
So I'm trying to teach you guys how to transition from your punches to volume.
Good job, Monique. Yep, use your hands on their hips, Sean. So you need your hands to post. There you go. I'll be right back, you guys. I'm gonna grab something. that's too heavy. Okay, everybody look in. So Sean, you're gonna stay on the bottom. All right, I'm just gonna show this detail for this escape again, and then I'm gonna show the self-defense escape, right? So this one's a little bit more jujitsu-esque, but I wanted to show it so I could show you guys how important it is to pop your hips. So if I have this ball up, I really want to get this ball going back up, right, into the air with just my hip motion. So if I let it fall and I don't hit it right, you see it just kind of lands softly and sticks to my hips. So when I do this, I want to really pop, right? See how I so much force with my hips, I was able to get that ball going again. So this is kind of similar to the motion. I'm going to kick them with my knee, right? And that whole motion here where I get going is that motion of the ball already being in the air and then dropping back down to me, right? So if I keep them getting going, the ball's in the air. Now when I pop, it comes back up, right? And I'm able to keep my hands here in the air. Since my hands are in the air, now I can bring my knees to my chest and then come sitting out. Does that make sense? So it's really important. It's kind of timing too, right? If you're sending your hips up before your feet have hit the ground, then your timing is going to be off, right? So you're going to really need to find that timing where you pop, right? Pop and get that weight going back up in the air. Exactly. All right. So again, a few more minutes, and then we're going to go into the self-defense version of this escape. So hands on the hips, Sean. You need to have the hands on the hips. There you go. Get them going forward. So get them going forward by kneeing them in the butt to get his weight already rocking forward. There you go. Now pop. Keep working it. Keep working it. So, Sean, what's your training partner's name? I didn't get their name.
Z.
Oh, Z, that's right. Z. So Z, start with your hands off the mat. So you're just gonna start with your hands off the mat, just sitting right up. When they knee you in the butt, right? That your hands are gonna be traveling forward. So before their hands hit the ground, right? So they're sitting up like this. You're gonna knee them in the butt, which gets their weight going forward, right? Right before their hands hit the ground is when you wanna pop, right? So up, knee them, get their weight going forward. Hands on the hips. Do it again. So make sure your hands start on the hips. Hands start on the hips. Yep. Okay, one more time and then we're gonna move on. Hands on the hips. Good. All right, and time. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the self-defense version of this escape, which is one of that you guys who have already done jiu-jitsu are gonna be familiar with, and it's called the Oompa. All right, so I like to think of this as a self-defense version of the choke because it works really well when somebody's actually trying to choke you. So if they're actually trying to choke you, their hands are in a static position. All right. It means they're going to use one hand to post, this other hand to kind of punch. All right. Boom. Boom. We don't want this punch landing. So as they're trying to punch, boom, we're going to use that explosive hip bump to get their weight going forward. So every time they try to punch, we're gonna be here. We're gonna see the hand coming back, right? We don't want it to start the umpa when the hand's already hitting our head. So we're see the hand cough back, and that's when we're gonna hip bump. And usually they miss your head as you're oompaing when they're trying to throw the punch. So they cough back, boom, you oompa, and then their hand usually misses your head. Okay. So for those of you with dummies, we're going to move on. For those of you who don't have dummies, let's just stay here a little bit and then practice bumping and getting the timing so this punch doesn't hit us in our face. All right, so the person on top is going to cough back, and then you're going to boom, oompa. They can start with one hand kind of posting on your neck like this, right here. And as I cough back, the dummy oompas, my hand usually will come forward. So I'm cocking back, trying to throw here, boom. And my hand usually will miss them because I'm using my hip bump to keep them off balance so they can't hit the target. Okay, let's just try that. For those of you with the dummy, just continue to practice what we already practiced. And then with those of you who without dummies, practice the oompa. One person's posting on the net and pretending like they're gonna punch you in the head, right? And you guys are gonna do your bridging and get the timing so the person can't touch your face. Feel free to ask questions if anything I'm saying is not making sense. Right, so one hand, right? And then make sure you get the timing and hit bump. Yeah, there you go. So right when they're trying to cock back and hit touch you, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can have fun with it once you figure it out. All right. Really try to aim for the head. And you don't have to punch them too. You can just try to tag their head too. So it's a little bit more realistic. Like try to touch the head lightly and then boom. Use the oompa. Yeah. There you go. Good job. Now you guys are getting it. Good. Time switch top to bottom, Sean. Yeah, very good. And for this one, you don't have to overarch. You're just like doing a little hip bump to get them, just get them to miss. That's it. You're just trying to get them to miss. Right. There you guys go. Ooh, you can switch arms, switch hands, post and punch, post and punch. Good. One more. It in time. Awesome. Okay, great. Everybody look in. Okay, so now we're gonna go for the escape. So we're just working on getting them off balance and understanding how to off balance people and use momentum to keep us from getting tagged. On all honesty, you're probably gonna take a few punches here, right? You're in the mount position, which is one of the most vulnerable next to the rear naked choke. Like the rear, so back mount or somebody taking your back, or this position is one of the most vulnerable positions that you could be in. And you're in the person's fire. So you can probably do this a lot and miss a good amount of punches, but you're probably going to end up eating a few too, just for the nature of the position you're in. So I just kind of want to reality check that a little bit. So when you're here and you're ready in a position where you're like, okay, I'm ready to hit the escape, the person's posting here on my net, and I need to get out of here. I can't just stay here hip up all day because eventually I'm gonna get tired because all their weight is on me. So I really need to get out. So what we're gonna do here is one hand, which is gonna be the cross hand, is gonna hold the arm in position so the person can't take this arm out. The other hand is going to support the elbow, right? So I'm going to keep their arm kind of locked out and straight as much as I can so that I have leverage to bridge. Once I'm ready to bridge and I'm set into position, I'm going to step over this leg to trap it, and I'm going to hit my up and over bridge, the one where we do this, the mobility version. Okay. So I keep the hand in position, post up, grabbing right at the tricep, right above the elbow, right? And then I'm gonna bridge up and over, okay? I'm gonna do that one more time, just so you guys can see my feet work. So I'm here in position, I step over the leg, then I'm gonna bridge up and over. So when I go over, this knee drops to the ground, and then I can step over and come on top. All right. You guys can do this on your own at first for those of you who are new, and then I can just look at your feet work, and then you can do it with your training partner or dummy. Yep, so really bridge up. So you don't want to just roll over. You want to lift your hips up off the ground. Yep, bridge over your shoulder. Drop your knee to the ground and then step over. Yep, there you go. And try not to let your hip, your side butt, touch the ground even when you're stepping over. You want to keep your hips in the air. Yep, yep, yep.
Push yourself, make yourself good. 20 seconds, pick it up.
There you go. Good job. One more on your own, Sean and Z, and then you guys do it together. Okay. So the far arm is gonna grab, yep, the other arm's gonna support right behind the elbow, and make sure your forefingers are facing in. So your thumb should face me. There you go. Good. Now you're gonna bridge up, get their weight going forward, step over their leg with the other leg, and then bridge. There you go. And on top, just like that. All right, so make sure with your left leg that you step over. Exactly. Yeah. So you're posting on it. Step over the leg and bridge. Up and over. Yeah. So when you bridge, remember the bridge is getting their weight going forward. So if I have this ball and he's just sitting here on my hips, right? On my hips. I want this weight going forward. So when I bridge, that weight falls up. That means the weight is already falling towards me. It's gonna be a lot easier for me to get myself on top versus if they're still keeping their weight heavy on my hips, right? So we can't just bridge and do this bridge for this one. We really need to overemphasize the bridge by bridging up and over. Now the weight is really falling over into the side at the same time. There you go. Yeah, try to keep that butt up the entire time. I'm gonna take myself, put myself on mute, and then I'll come back if I need to say anything. Switch top to bottom, Sean and Z. So Sean, you trapped and rolled them the wrong way. So you want to trap and roll them on the same side of the arm that is posting on your neck. Another way to understand if you're bridging enough is their weight will be heavy in their hips, and then their weight gets heavy into their hands. So when their weight is heavy on their hand, you know their weight is going forward. That means you bridge high enough. If their weight is still heavy on your hips, that means you're not bridging enough. You're not bridging up and over, right? So you want them to get from sitting heavy here to really getting their weight forward. Try to stay mounted on Sean Z. Try not to just fall off. Make them do the whole trap and roll. There you go. That's it. You can bridge more, Sean, so that their weight is coming forward, right? bridge more. Really overemphasize your bridge and look up and over your shoulder. Better. All right, time, let's look in. So I'm gonna do another variation on this same bridge and roll. So sometimes we can think of it as if somebody maybe has a weapon, like a knife. If they have a gun, it would be not the same, but right? Maybe they have some sort of weapon here in their hand. You don't want to, obviously, you don't want them posting here. So you're gonna want to trap that arm so that they can no longer use it. Okay, so and it's really important that you imagine that there's a weapon in this hand so that you can really emphasize keeping this nice and tight. Now, in this other hand, you're going to keep their head down, right? We don't want the person posturing up and slipping out. So in this position, we're really hugging tight and keeping their shoulder and their elbow down and their head separated from their attacking arm, this arm that would have the weapon, right? And keep them nice and tight, okay? So if somebody's coming here, we're gonna bump, right? So their whole weight goes forward, boom. Once we get their weight going forward, we can reach up and start to wrap around that arm. So we bump them, wrap around that arm with the weapon and grab the head so that they can't get out of the position. We want to hold on tight here. If you need to cuff the shoulder to keep everything tight, do that. We're going to do the same thing, stepping over the leg. We need to trap the leg here so that we can keep them down and not stepping out with that leg when we trap and roll them. Keep this tight, keep their head tight, keep their arm tight, bridging up and over our shoulder, leaning on this leg when we bridge and roll. And then I can suck my leg behind me and step over. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Right? So this has a weapon in my hand. I'm gonna bump them and get them going forward. Bump them and getting going forward so that weapon can't touch me. Swim through, trap, and trap. Keep them tight. Keep that head tight to your body. Keep that arm tight to your body. Step over the leg, and we want to trap it. So we're gonna bridge, even suck this leg back if you can. Then you step over. I'm saying bridge the whole time, and now I'm coming on top, right? Does anybody have any questions? You need to see it again? Good? All right, let's give it a try. So for Sean and Z, you can even, if you guys have like a pen or something, you can like have that in your hand or a marker or whatever. You pretend like, hey, I'm gonna try and stab you with this thing. So try and continue to do your bridging so that they can't mark you with that marker or whatever they have in your hand. And keep that tight. There you go. There you go. Yep. So try not to trap the arm when they're still up like this, right? Try not to trap it and reach up for the arm. You want to get them going forward and posting both their hands on the floor. Because if their hands are on the floor, it's going to be difficult. Not that they can't do it, but it's going to be difficult to stab you because their hands are occupied by keeping them from base planning. Now, if you reach up here, they can avoid you all day and then they can just go, right? So you want to get them to go forward so that their hands are occupied with posting to the ground first and then trap them. Then trap that arm better. Trap the head too, right? So then they can't slip that arm back out. Arm and head together. And there's a sweet spot where you're going to want to kind of trap the tricep, elbow, and forearm. Those are details that I will have to show you probably in person because it's hard to see everything right now. But there's a sweet spot to trap it. Don't reach up. Use your hip bump to avoid the stab. There you go. Good. All right, Z and Sean, switch top to bottom. Yep. Try to trap it in the head and arm immediately. Pull that head and arm tight. So if you guys ever held like an item in your armpit like this, right? That's what you want to do. You want to keep that nice and tight, so that they can probably still, especially if it's nice. If it's a longer blade, they might still be able, even if it's a short blade, they might still be able to stab you. So you kind of want to hold, like my dummy luckily has elbows. So his arm is kind of short too. So it's a little bit tricky, but I kind of want to hold, get that wrist area and cup the tricep, right? So I really want to get here. If I get too high here, then this whole joint, the wrist, and the elbow is still mobile, right? So I kind of want to get right at that wrist, right? And I can cup the shoulder and hold them tight. So it's very difficult for them to move that hand and still stab me even when I'm here in this position. These are like details. But it's more important that you guys focus on this movement and then keep training. A few more. Grab the head if you have the arm trapped. Pull that head down tight. There you go. Good. End time. Everybody look in. It is 7:01 now. Yay, you guys did it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know my classes can kind of be a lot sometimes, but I still wanted to keep it very basic, challenge you guys in the beginning with new movements that you maybe have not experienced before with that hip bump pop. That's kind of an advanced jujitsu hip escape, but it transfers. You guys see how it kind of transfers to all these other movements that I had you do, which are a little bit more basic. And the importance of getting those hips explosive and the importance of getting somebody's movement to come forward. When you're able to start to time your hip bump with their punches or their strikes or any of their attacks, you'll notice your ability to keep them off line of your head from any punches or stabs, whatever weapon they have. If they have a gun, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult because then all they need to do is get that trigger going, right? But we're just thinking of mostly right now weapons and strikes to keep you safe. Utilize your hips. And I'm a huge fan of bridging exercises. Jennifer and Sarah and Cha have trained with me for a while now. So bridging exercises are great, not only for building muscle mass, if that's what you're looking for, but also strength and helping you with your whole posterior chain. It's just a normal exercise that we do here in or movement that we do a lot in jiu-jitsu. Does anybody have any questions? I would love to hear from the newer people since you guys are new. What did you guys think of the class? What could I do better as an instructor to help you guys feel a little bit more included?
I don't know. It's my first class, so I mean, I've done other martial arts, but this is interesting.
Yeah. What did you think of it, Z? Did you like it?
I was the one who was just talking.
No, I was thinking, I was talking to you, Z. Yeah, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this is the first time we do an actual contact sport, but yeah, I know it's hard to do things over Zoom, but I appreciate your tips and stuff, even if it's a really hard way to communicate.
Yeah. Thank you so much. What about you, Sean?
It's been so long, like doing this stuff. Like, yeah. But yeah, I think your instruction, I don't have any complaints. I think it's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I hope to see you both back again. Monique, what did you think of the class?
I liked it. I really like the use of dummies. I feel like that really, also even when you were demonstrating, it looked like a real person. So
thank you.
dummy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we do a lot of dummy work here. So this is a new dummy too. So I used to use the teddy bear.
That's for my dummy.
Oh, is that just a pillow with a gi in it?
Yeah. With the towel.
Oh, dope. That's dope.
I think I need some pants, which would be useful. Yeah.
Yeah. Throw some pants in there with some more towels, and you'll definitely get a lot out of that. Jennifer, what did you think?
Yeah, that was helpful. I think that that the pop thing was also a thing that I sort of just learned by watching other people do. So getting an actual explanation was nice.
Thank you. Cha, checking in.
I thought you bouncing the medicine ball up with your like hips was really cool, and I really want to try that, but I'm pretty sure I'd squish my face with the ball. But it looked hella cool.
This is a squishy ball too, so it's forgiving. It's only a 6-pound ball as well. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Sarah, I know you usually don't say a lot, but if you want to say anything, we'd happy to hear from you. I want to thank you guys again. I teach again on Saturday. That is an athletic performance class. So if you guys are looking to get stronger and improve your conditioning, you're still welcome to join, right? Definitely welcome. It's not really a technical class. It's more of like put in work and sweat. So if you guys want to join me Saturdays at 10 a.m., we're here. Until then, have a great rest of your day. If you guys, I'm on 4 Elements Fitness Facebook page, so feel free to DM me, tag me if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.
All right, thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.